Hello people, I'm Ginnymetheral and I'm a fourth generation witch. Today's video is something that is pretty close to my heart at the moment, and that is the 3 stages of being a witch in a human lifetime. Not many people have discussed this, so here is my tribute to the triple witch. Now, in times ago, many people thought that witches were female, and it was quite sexist because men were considered magicians or alchemists. They weren't witches, or they were herbalists and healers, unlike us girls who were considered witches. Now, I'm pleased to say that the term witch is a unisex term encompassing both men and women. So although in this video I'm going to refer to the 3 stages of being a witch, this is a unisex term. So we're going to look at it from a male and female perspective and everything in between. You might have heard of the 3 stages of being a witch as being the maiden, the mother, and the crone. This is personified in neo-paganism or Wicca in the triple goddess. However, I want to look at this in a much more practical manner, because each phase has its own distinct persona and what this means when practicing witchcraft. So let's start with this theory of the maiden, mother, crone. In the modern times, we would probably just call the maiden, for a more unisex version, a virgin. Any virgin will do. The maiden form probably starts around the age of 7, and there's a very distinct reason for this. Children from 0 to 7 are just an extension of their mother, and about the age of 6 or 7 or 8 or 5, sometimes depending on the child, they have separated their identity from their mother and they are very much their own individual person. I know it can often feel like they're very individual, aged 2 weeks, which they are. However, they do see themselves at this point as still an extension of their parent. So the maiden phase or the virgin phase really starts from about the age of 7. And it goes up until that person has lost their virginity. It is also around the age of 7 that you get your first spirit guide, your first individual spirit guide. Your first spirit guide around the age of 6, 7 will help you develop your witchcraft in an incredibly pure, innocent and joyous manner. This is why virgins were so sought after by dark magicians to practice their magic. Think of those virgins being slaughtered on altars throughout the Middle Ages, or even Dracula liking his virgins. There's a reason for it. It is because their bodily energy has never been corrupted by another. Corrupted is probably too strong a word. It hasn't been influenced by any other. And therefore it is a very pure energy. This phase obviously lasts from about the age of 7 until that person loses their virginity. Now this can go on, therefore, because some people might remain virgins by choice or by circumstances throughout the whole of their life. But it is one of the most important stages. The trouble with this stage is that people are unable to use the knowledge at this point in their lives because they just don't have it. Unless, through circumstances or otherwise, they do remain a virgin and practice witchcraft. Those people are really rather special. Spells that are considered good for this part of your life are those that really use this special, innocent joy. And so, happiness spells, creativity spells, and major project spells as well, because virginal witches don't have the knowledge to back up their very strong power source. They don't often cast the spells that they're really, truly capable of. However, if this is the phase in your life at the moment, I would recommend that you cast spells for happiness, joy, fervour, creativity. It would be great if you have a party. You can cast a spell over the party for it to go with a bang. And because of your great strength, it will work really, really well. So the second phase is known as the mother. Now, bearing in mind, babies, when they're born, just think they're an extension of their mother. Now this, by some amazing evolutionary tactic, this capacity is transferred really to any primary carer. And so I like to think of the mother stage as simply a parent stage. When you become a parent, you become naturally much more concerned about somebody else. And it's really important for human development to have all your energy posted on somebody else rather than yourself. At this stage, your energy changes. It does become more protective, healing, and nurturing. And so the spells in this part of your life are all about protecting, nurturing, and healing others. It is generally at this point where healers really understand their power, really get to grips with their power and become truly great healers. Being a parent tends to happen to pretty much almost everyone in some way or form. If you don't have your own children, for example, I know a lot of friends of mine who never had their own children, and now they are caring for elderly relatives, and so they become the parent to their parent. Likewise, I know a lot of educators who don't have their own children and are never going to. However, they are a huge parent figure with the children that they educate, and this has the same effect on you. Generally, most people will experience some kind of parent power, and this is the mother aspect to the 3 phases of being a witch. This phase in your life has a great deal to do with maturing, developing, and healing. And as a result, spells that work well at this time in your life are spells that take time to mature. For example, wealth attraction spells can often take time to mature. Spells for domestic harmony, so healing marriage spells is always a good one by someone who's a parent because their power is stronger in this. And also spells for fertility. If you are a parent and you see that child struggling with fertility issues, you, with their permission, are much more able to bring a fertility power to them because you have an innate knowledge of what fertility is, a subconscious understanding of it. And you can put that into a spell for your child. And the final phase, the crone phase. Now, I have a little bit of an issue with this word crone because it's got such terrible connotations. Men were always considered a wise old man, the great healer, the wonderful magician, that mad scientist. Women, old crone, that's what we get. So I don't like this term. I prefer the term wise woman. In Kung Fu, they call grandmaster males, mysterious old men. This is the same with witchcraft. I would like to become a wise woman. You're less likely to cast as many spells in your crone phase because you understand and have the knowledge that some things just need to be lived through. If I'm unhappy in my wise woman phase, I wouldn't necessarily call in for possessions to come to me because I now know that possessions do not bring happiness. They have their own problems sometimes associated with them. A nice set of gels on your nails looks great and gives me great pleasure. However, it doesn't bring lasting happiness. So I don't cast as many spells now as I did when I was in my youth because I can understand and I have that deeper life knowledge behind me, which is irritating in a way because it's quite fun casting spells when you're a youth. It's much more exciting than it is now. Now I'm just like, oh yeah, seen it before. Oh yeah, whatever. We are all a triple goddess. We are all a triple deity. Every single one of us. And that is something I think that can be celebrated, no matter what your stage. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. This video is slightly personal to me, and it's rather my own viewpoint on this from what I have seen over the years. But I'd love to know your thoughts. If you want to know more about this slightly more in-depth version of witchcraft, do go over to patreon.com/Ginnymetheral because there you can sign up for lessons with me. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.